What is going on, everybody? Will here with From Screen to Shelf. Hope everybody is doing well out there. Hope everybody's ready for the holiday. Wanted to put this video out before I got busy with Christmas, but it's an exciting time of year. You know, everybody is doing their top 10 lists of favorite movies, whether it's theatrical releases or physical media releases. And we've had another great year for physical media, another record year on the books, 2024. It's almost over, but we've gotten so many great releases this year, especially with Steelbooks. So this is going to be my top 10 Steelbook video, my top 10 Steelbooks of 2024. And I'm going to run through the top 10. I also got some runners up that I'm going to talk about briefly, but I pretty much want to showcase some of the stuff that I picked up that's made my top 10 list for the year. But before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, thank you for checking us out. If you're a returning viewer to the channel, thanks again. Glad to see you guys. Hope everybody is doing well. As I said, hope everybody's safe and healthy, and looking forward to Christmas and the new year, 2025. Big things on the horizon for 2025, hopefully, in the world of physical media. But enough of that. Let's get right into the video because I want to make this short and sweet. I'm going to do some runners up first. And there were a lot of Steelbooks this year, guys. I saw some creators putting like top 20 videos out, which is great. You know, shout out to those people that are putting in the work and going the extra mile. I didn't want to do a top 20. I didn't want to do really even a top 15, but I figured if I do some runners up and show some other Steelbooks some love before I get into my top 10, I would do that. So let's get into one of my favorite films of all time. It's a Brian De Palma film. This is Body Double. Okay, so we're going to just run through these real quick. These are runners up, folks. And nothing crazy about this Steelbook. I just love that they went with the original poster art that I'm used to. So it's cool to see that. And then we got the inside. I'm going to try to take the discs out real quick because I don't want to just give you guys a full showcase of these. So Body Double. That's a runner up. And I got a handful of these. So we'll get into them, I guess, as we go here. Next one, Darkman. I just love this. It's minimal, but really kind of stood out to me. Who is Darkman? Not sure if Scream Factory or Shout Factory has done anything like this before as far as the text and the artwork kind of behind that, like almost like a silhouette. Like the silhouette is it's like a cutout text. I kind of like that. I mean, the back is pretty straightforward. You get a picture of Darkman there. And then on the inside, I'm going to try to pop these discs out without scratching anything here. You just got a scene of the movie there when he's on the rooftop. So Darkman, big fan of this movie, big Sam Raimi fan, as you guys may know. And we got another title on the list that's, I guess we could say it's in the Raimi universe, so to speak, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But next up, Terminator. This is a pretty big release of the year. You know, a lot of people were excited about it. I do have the slipcover of this as well, but I kind of like this Steelbook. And some people might think that this is kind of minimal because we've seen this kind of stuff before where they have like the main, I guess you could say in this case, the antagonist of the film. But I kind of like the way this artwork is set up. And again, kind of like a minimal image on the cover. There's the back. Again, cool. You know, sometimes it's like a good middle ground between doing too much and too little. So I kind of like this. And there's the inside with Arnie there. So Terminator, another runner-up. My next runner-up, and probably I got one more after this, King Kong. King Kong. This is probably my favorite film incarnation of King Kong. I'm just a big fan of this version with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange. Just my personal favorite. This is the one that I remember growing up. I had seen this one before the original film, and I love this artwork. Really cool artwork, especially that image. Show you guys the back because I'm not sure if I showed you the back. Really cool. So King Kong, another runner-up. And I almost put King Kong in the top 10 because at first when I looked at this Steelbook, I really like this, but it's always funny when you make these kinds of videos because you kind of have an idea of what your top 5 or your top 10 is gonna look like, whatever type of list you're doing, and then as you go through your collection, you're like, "Damn, I forgot that this came out," and that's what was so fun about making a list like this and making a video like this is, like, I forgot some of the releases that I had picked up this year, and that was pretty much the exciting thing, going back and revisiting some of these and going through the shelf. So the next one, this was really close. In fact, I'm gonna give this movie a shout out because it is one of my favorite movies that Scream Factory or Shout Factory has put out, and that is Evil Dead. I just love this image. I love this image when the movie came out. It was like one of the biggest, I guess you could say, images tied to the marketing of the movie. And I do have the slipcover of this film. So it's not like I don't have the movie, but this is one of those things where it's like I saw the Steelbook and I had to double dip. And Scream Factory's been doing this. They've been putting titles out with slipcovers, and then they've been, 6 months to a year later putting them back out on Steelbook. So they're doing that with like Drag Me to Hell and Motel Hell and some other titles. But I'm not gonna lie, that Pumpkinhead Steelbook from 2023 still got me. That's still my favorite, one of my favorites of last year. So, they do some good work with their Steelbooks, but this one got me. I had to get this one. So shout out to Evil Dead. Shout out to Scream Factory for putting that one out. Another one of their titles made the list after Darkman. And that's it for the runners up, guys. So now we're going to get into the top 10. So starting with Wind River. This is an excellent movie. It's a perfect movie to watch this time of year. Not necessarily a Christmas movie, but a winter cold weather film. And here in the Northeast, it's the perfect time to pop something like this in. And what I love about this is the backdrop after you take the slip off. The artwork on this is truly, truly cool. And you get the wolf in the mountains there, and then you get the wolves on the snow-covered field. And then you have like the woman running. Like, this is one of those Steelbooks that when you see it, it really embodies the vibe of the movie. And that's what I love about a good Steelbook. Good artwork will capture the vibe of the film that it's representing. And I just feel like this is a movie that, or a Steelbook for that matter, that does that incredibly well. Let's take a look at the inside here. Really cool. Get the footprints in the snow. Oh, it's getting a little blurry. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. So Wind River, excellent movie. Okay, next up, guys. Next up. This was hard. It's hard to find a kind of an order. I mean, and that's why I try not to do things in any specific order. It's just what grabs my attention. So let me do this one. I'm going to do The Ring because I saw this edition. I love this, the VHS edition. I'm not sure if this is the Walmart exclusive. So if anybody out there knows off the top of their head, correct me in the comments. This may be the Walmart exclusive. I know there were 2 versions of this, but I love the throwback to the VHS style or the VHS artwork with the slip. You take the slip off and you got the 7 days on the front with the tree on the back. I like slips with the Steelbooks that they're doing now. So that's the inside. But The Ring, it's a movie I haven't seen in so long. I don't even own a Blu-ray of this movie. The only other copy I have is on VHS. So I figured it's probably time to upgrade. So I did, and I love that. Just to show you guys the slip again. Next, this one is one that I actually picked up in person. I normally pre-order my Steelbooks, but every now and then I'll pick them up in person. This is one of those that I wasn't sure I wanted because when I saw it online, when I saw the initial artwork, I wasn't really sold on it. But then when I saw it in the store, I was like, damn, this actually pops a lot more than I expected it to as far as the color is concerned. And that is Return of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead. That's another Scream Shout Factory release. And look at that, guys. Love that. You got the gloss on the main image of Tarman there. And then you got the gloss, slight gloss with the title. I love that. Now, some people might think, yeah, maybe if we had a little more detail, that'd be cool, but I don't really mind this. But I love the back of it. Property of the Department of the Army, do not open. That's kind of cool. And then inside, and again, this is another one of those movies that was a double dip for me, guys, just because I love this movie. And I just thought this artwork was so cool when I saw it in the store. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it. So there you have Trash and the gang, everybody in the car. So Return of the Living Dead, the next one, is a Walmart exclusive as well. This was another Steelbook that had a Walmart exclusive, and then there was an Amazon version, I believe, that you could pretty much buy at Amazon and other retailers, and that is The Crow. The Crow. And I love this, guys. I love this slip and the cover. You just have Brandon Lee's face there, but it just, again, simple, but just it works so well with the way they designed this slip. Not a huge fan of the artwork on the back. I mean, I could live with that, but the front of this does it for me. I love this slip, love this cover. Just pop out the disc, show you guys the inside. Again, nothing crazy on the inside. You get the outline of the crow with the filler artwork in there. But I love this slip. This is probably one of my favorite slip covers of the year. Was this release? Just instantly knew that I wanted this when I saw it. Next one, this is an Alex Ross artwork version of the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Big fan of the Universal Monsters. Now, here's the thing. I have some other Steelbooks with the Alex Ross art, Dracula, and I think either Frankenstein or the Wolfman, and I wanted to have those on this list, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to be too biased. I want the list to be a little bit of a mix of everything. So I picked my favorite Universal monster, which is the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I love this artwork. The back of it is pretty simple. Nothing really other than the title. And then you got like the haze in the background, which I love. But I just love this artwork. And my favorite thing is the inside of the packaging here. You get all the images from the movie. You get the creature right here and all the other images in there. I love that. It's kind of like a collage of images from the film, which is just fantastic. And I love that they're bringing back the Alex Ross artwork. I think they did this with this same run of films with Blu-ray Steelbooks years back. So it's nice to see them bringing this artwork back for the 4K versions. And I never had the Blu-ray versions of these, if the Blu-ray Steelbooks. And at the time, those were pretty sought after once they came out. So Creature from the Black Lagoon. Okay, now we're into the top 5, folks. So these are in no particular order, but I kind of know what my number 1 is. Number 5, Stir of Echoes. I love this movie. I think this movie is totally underrated. I don't want to get into the movie too much, but look at this Steelbook. So you have Kevin Bacon with his eyes closed, and then you have his eyes open. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, so I apologize about the lighting there, but I love that they went with a lenticular slipcover for this. And this is something that I want to see more. Lionsgate put this out. Lionsgate, shout out. Shout out to Lionsgate. This is something that I want to see more. Because again, we can be honest, folks, with the way that budgets are nowadays and just the cost of everything, if I'm buying a Steelbook, like I want to feel like my money is going somewhere. Like I want value. And not everybody's into the lenticular stuff. I personally am a fan of it. This is something that I remember from back in the VHS and the DVD days when companies like Anger Bay were putting out lenticular slip covers of stuff. And it's just cool to see this coming back. And there's companies like Blue Underground that have been doing this with some of their releases, but to see a company like Lionsgate start to do this, I love it. I love it. I think it's awesome. And Stir of Echoes is a great movie for anybody that hasn't seen it. I think it's a hugely underrated movie with Kevin Bacon, and he's great in it. But Stir of Echoes, here's the slip. On the back, you have like the J card information. We pull the slip off. There's Kevin Bacon again, and obviously the dead girl. And then on the inside, again, minimal artwork on the inside. Nothing crazy. It's just the hole in the brick wall, which is an important plot point there. So I kind of like that. I love the light bulb on the back with the silhouette of Kevin Bacon. Just a fantastic Steelbook. And one of the late releases this year. Like when this was announced, I was actually kind of like surprised by this because I just did not think that this movie was going to get put out on 4K. This kicks off the top 5. Okay, next. I'm not the biggest fan of the movie. The movie's entertaining, but I had to get this Steelbook because I could not pass this up, and that is The Meg. Okay, again, not my favorite movie. I mean, big, dumb shark fun, but this Steelbook gave me, like, I'm getting like thalassophobia, which I believe is fear of deep water, looking at this. Perfect blend of colors, just the way that the colors blend together on this, the back, look at that. I love this. And I wish that they would do this more often, like just commission artwork like this. And the Meg obviously has a sequel, as you guys know. If they did this for the Meg 2, I would buy that. So I think Warner Brothers put this out. So Warner Brothers, if you're listening, put out the Meg 2 with the same style artwork, because that would be a cool little collection. And that is the number 4 pick. Now, number 3, Thanksgiving. Love this movie. Was great to get like a Thanksgiving themed slasher, and something that Eli Roth has been working on for a long time. For those of you that know, the history of this movie. But I love this, guys. I love that the image, we have the so-called debossing here, because the outer frame is raised, but then you have the title, which is not necessarily embossed, but the image of the axe and the turkey. And the reason I love this, and again, not much of a background going on here, it reminds me of like a VHS style, almost like 80s horror VHS artwork. And that's what I love about this. And that's why this is my number 3 pick. Let's take a look at the back. You got the mask, the burned mask of John Carver there. And this is cool. They give you the little note inside. I'm not going to read it, but again, nothing crazy, just a little something extra that I appreciate. And then inside you have all the John Carvers right here. And then you got our guy there with the axe. So Thanksgiving is my number 3 pick for top 10 Steelbooks of 2024. Okay, we're down to the final 2, guys. And I've talked about this movie before. It's one of my favorite films of the last 10 years. I love the style of it. I love the vibe of it. Love the score and the cinematography and the look of this movie. And again, when I was talking about Wind River, I told you a good steelbook encapsulates the vibe of the movie that it represents, and that is again the situation with this release, and that is Drive. I love the colors here. Again, very like retro style aesthetic to this steelbook. And this is probably on a lot of people's top 10 lists. I haven't watched any other top 10 lists, but that's one of the things I love doing at the end of the year is kind of, seeking out other creators and other YouTubers in the community and kind of checking out what everybody's got in their list. So hopefully there's some diversity with a lot of these lists, but Drive, I couldn't not include this in my top 10 because I love this movie and I love this steelbook. Like, this is something I would love to see in like a boutique release. And obviously we've gotten great boutique releases for this film, like from Second Sight and stuff like that. But here's the inside one more time. That's the driver up against the car. Yeah. Love this. Love this. So Drive is number 2. And finally, guys, number 1. Okay. Number 1, not only a movie that I was so, again, super stoked to see getting released, but something that I want to see more often. And again, this is another Lionsgate release and a year-end release. This was released just the other week, and that is Kickboxer, guys. The Kickboxer lenticular 4K steelbook with this just amazing lenticular slip. And again, some people aren't necessarily into the lenticular stuff. I love the lenticular stuff. I think this is like bringing back the early days of like VHS and DVD collecting where you had some lenticular covers. And personally, I'm a fan of this, and this is right up my alley. I love this. This is cool. Lionsgate, please do this more often with your releases. And other major studios should take note. This is like right out of a boutique playbook, but it works. And I feel like when I'm spending money on this, I'm getting a little more value. And again, for some people, the slipcover isn't a big deal, but for me, it just adds to that package. So there's the front of it there. Look at that. That's so cool. You get the J card info on the back. We're going to take the slip off. Look at this, guys. I love this. There's the full image, the front and the back. Again, going with what I was saying about really representing the film well. And that's what I love about my top picks, is that these movies, these releases, so to speak, they kind of just, they give you that vibe, they instantly give you the vibe of the movie and the artwork. And I love this. So Kickboxer is my number 1 steelbook release of 2024. So that's it, guys. That is my my top 10 along with my runners up. Comment down below. Do you guys own any of these releases? Did you pick any of these up? And if so, you know, what do you think? What do you think about my picks? What do you think about the releases that we talked about in this video? If I don't talk to you guys, if I don't hear from you guys, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and stay tuned. More content coming your way soon. Peace.